Alright, Mopar people, you may remember this is the 70 Challenger that I built, but before I had this car I actually had a 73 Challenger and it was very slick. I'll post a picture of it up for you. So that was a 73 model, original 340 slapstick car, and I knew when I bought it, it wasn't exactly what I wanted. I wanted a white car. I wanted a 4-speed, and at the time I wanted a big block too, which this might be a big block again someday, but this was the original slant 6 car. But I bought that Challenger, and it was the original motor. 340, you know, whatever you want, triple black car, black interior, black stripes, black hood, obviously. But driving around the car, it just seemed so like a dog. So I ended up building myself a 408 stroker motor. I'll show you some pictures of that. Ended up putting into my black truck, and my black truck is a 77 Adventurer. I got some pictures of it here. I actually drove it to high school, so it was original 360 truck. It's got a 74 model grill, so don't I realize that I like the 74 model grill better, so that's why I switched them. But I built this motor for that black car, the 408, and then I sold the black car. So I had the motor left over. I threw it into the black truck, and that black truck is what I like to bracket race in now. So the whole reason I'm making this video is actually I'm going bracket racing hopefully this coming weekend, which is July 19th, and I'm taking that black truck. I was going to tell you a little bit about it, and I was going to try to do a giveaway. I'm not going to tell you what time the truck runs. I don't know. I haven't ran the truck this year since there's been COVID or whatever else. But taking the truck out, whoever can guess the correct time, rather the first person to guess the correct time in the comments of this video, I will reach out to you and send you a Justmoparjoe t-shirt of your liking. So you'll get to pick your own size, color, and whatever color you want the graphic to be. I'll put up a link here, just a quick picture, give you some examples. Or the whole reason I got a camera was to take drag racing. So I'll put my GoPro up. I'll bring this camera along and try to track my progress. Maybe I can go a few rounds. But I'll tell you about the black truck and kind of show you some pictures of the combination to help you get a little bit better grasp on your guess of what it'll run. So, all right, so here's a picture of that motor right after it was assembled. This was about 2011, I would say, maybe 2013. It's kind of hard for me to remember, but started out as a 360 block. It's bored 30 over. It's got the SCAT rotating assembly. I believe that's from CNC Motorsports, and it was just, like I said, going to be a street engine. So it's the 9-6-to-1 Icon dish pistons. Let me show you here. 4340 Ford steel crank. The first 408 stroker that I built, I actually bought an Eagle cast crank, and that crank did break on me. So I learned my lesson then. I kind of cheaped out buying stuff. So when I built this one, I went ahead and got the good stuff. The forged pistons comes with everything, and I did get that balance before I put it in. So let me show you these heads. I've got the RHS Indy X heads. They're currently not available through Summit right now. I'm not sure what happened with that company, if it's even still around, but so there's 62 cc, which would give me roughly 10.2 to 1. And I think I actually used those blue Felpro gaskets that are
48 thousandths compressed thickness. So I'm basically 10 to 1. I typically run 100 octane whenever I go drag race. And I believe the truck weighs somewhere around 3,600 pounds. It's got a fuel cell. I guess I can show you the truck real quick. Here I am. This is my old high school picture before prom or something, back when I had a 360 in it. So that's what it used to look like when I'd ride around, 15, 16, 17-year-old. And I've kept the truck ever since then. That was kind of my first the father-son project we did. And so I had the truck for a while, and ended up I threw the motor in it. I was drag racing it some. It's got just some slapper bars on the back, 456 gears, full manual reverse valve body, 727, and I believe it's a 3500 Hughes stall. You can buy that through Summit. I might get a chance to put a link up to it, but it seemed to be a pretty good stall. I was just throwing a truck together to bracket race. So here's a picture of that motor after it sat for 5 or 6 years. Same motor. I have not torn it apart. All I did, I pulled it out before I painted the truck and just cleaned it up. Here it is, and threw it back in. It's got the Edelbrock air gap intake, which I do have a 1-inch spacer on, and I run the just an Edelbrock 750. I believe that's a 1407 mechanical secondary carburetor on it. Always had good luck with those, especially for bracket racing. We're kind of Edelbrock people, but I do, in a future video, I've got a Holley HP 1000 I'm going to throw on it and try, see if I can pick up some time, but MSD distributor is locked out. The camshaft is the Performer RPM cam and lifters, 7177, so it's a split duration, split lift. I got a picture of it here. So I ended up with that camshaft. It's matched to the intake, which is that's a pretty high dollar cam and lifters there. I had traded a guy, or actually I bought a 318 that he had just stuck this cam in, and it had the good intake, the good Mopar dual plane intake on it. I bought the motor and trans from him, I think, for $200. So he assured me that cam had just been put in. He broke it in, and it was way too much cam for his little 318. I said, okay, I'll try it. I'll pull it out. Everything looked good, so I swapped that cam into the 408 whenever I had it pulled out to clean up. So now I've got my motor's ready to go drop into the truck, and I did some paint work on the truck. So here you can see I got it in like black primer after that. Black is a super, super hard color to paint, and I almost wish I would have switched colors or something, or spent another couple hundred hours in body work. My paint's definitely not perfect, but it brought up a nice shine. That was just one of the $200 base clear kits online. I think it's from paintforcars.com or something. Fenders look pretty good. This is my makeshift paint booth that's inside my shop. And so I didn't have a lot of space, but the paint, it turned out pretty nice. I did cut and buff the paint, and that kind of, it made it look a little bit nicer, but then again, it showed every imperfection that I had in the bodywork. So here's a few more pictures. I'll probably end up going back, redo some of the stuff, and black it out again in a couple more years. I've got the truck setting in storage. Other things about the truck, if you're still listening here and you want to try to guess that time, it does have a fiberglass lift-off hood, so that lightened up the front end a little bit. It just pins on, and the hood hinges are gone. It's got a fuel cell, factory bench seat. Everything's still in the interior. I think I took the radio out. So not a lot to it. It's a nice, it's actually be put right back on the street very easily. All the wiring harness, everything's there. I got a new front bumper for it. It's a pretty nice grill. Mr. John Buell brought that back from the Mopar Nationals for me for, I think it was $100 bill. He was able to buy that grill and the headlights around, so I appreciated that for sure. But yeah, that's my little truck. I got a good ratchet shifter in it, reverse pattern. It's very consistent usually. 456 gears and 8 3/4, and 26 by 10.5 slicks on the back. They're mounted on a 12-inch wide wheel, 15 by 12s. And for exhaust, somebody asked me that. It's just a Summit brand truck headers, 3-inch collector. They go into some 3-inch by 18 glass packs and just some turnouts kind of right in front of the back wheel. So definitely not full exhaust. It's full 3-inch all the way out. So that should breathe a little bit better. But yeah, I'm anxious to see what it'll run. I put a little bit wider slicks on. I had some 9-inch wide 26 by 9s. I went to a 26 by 10 and 10.5 on the wider wheel. So that should help out my traction. I wasn't really having a problem before. My other slicks were old, and usually for bracket racing, I found out that the wider tire can definitely help your consistency. So yeah, I look forward to racing next weekend.